Hello, Malik Shahutko here. I'm the CEO and the board member of Al Baraka Turk. I've been with Al Baraka Group since 2004, and it's a great honor to speak about Al Baraka Turk's achievements with regards to fintechs and especially our Insha project in Europe. With that, let me just start with the presentation so I don't take much of your time. We started fintechs, especially with regards to what we can do on the digital side internally. And initially, our idea was to eventually get to a system whereby Oracle would be at the core of an ecosystem of fintechs, very much like Google, Amazon, Uber, and Facebook. They all started as they all had a core business model. With Google, it was a search engine. With Amazon, as you know, it was a e-commerce, especially books platform. With Uber, it was a taxi service, driving service, and Facebook was a social media application. But over time, both due to internal developments and by merge acquisitions, they took over several fintechs or digital platforms in order to enhance their revenue streams and also business models to establish an ecosystem whereby each part of the ecosystem feeds the core business model. And our idea with Al Baraka Turk also. Essentially, we are an Islamic bank established in Turkey, and we have branches in Iraq. But the world is changing, and as you know, and I've spoken about this in other lectures or other seminars, digitalization will definitely change the way banking is done, not just because of technology, but the business model itself, the culture of banking itself is going to change. That means we will have huge changes with regards to our organizations, the way that we do business. And essentially, our idea was to adopt a very similar model to those companies that are successful in the digital world, like Amazon and Google. That's why we started establishing both internally and by participating and cooperating with fintechs, an ecosystem whereby we would have platform services, payment services, niche market services, digital banking services, obviously, with a scope to have only digital-only banking, aside from the traditional Islamic banking platforms that we had, other Islamic services, like Zakah calculator or Most Finder, whereby our typical customers, these are the services our typicals would also need, and also participate with especially telecoms with regards to communication services. As you know, all these companies, all these different sectors are also providing financial services, and it is our aim to be a partner with them also in the long run. With that, we started establishing both by developing internally new products and new business models, and also with regards to providing an accelerator for fintechs, and also investing in them, so that in the future we will be cooperating with them with regards to partnerships or with regards to other service provisions. So in services, for example, we have started to build an SME market, event hunter, portfolio management systems. With regards to payment services, we established and just recently went online a check clearing system, total digital, where all banks, and not only banks, but also construction companies that work with checks and IOUs, can clear their checks and IOUs. We establish a Colipos or Alneo, for example, whereby We are replacing payments, POS terminals with regards to payment systems. We're providing niche market services now with regards to accessible banking and startup banking. With regards to digital services, we established a chatbot internally, which is providing important services to our customers. And in communication services, we participated and cooperated with a telco company to establish an Al Baraka cell platform communication services. But the most important ecosystem that we have established was Insha, which is a totally digital-only platform in a space and with a business model that wasn't before done in the Islamic banking services all around the world. In Europe, which was a market that had a huge, especially Turkish immigrants, but that was untapped until now. Obviously, the idea is to have all of these ecosystem parts provide revenues and establish business models for us to go in the direction that the technology will take us. The development internally didn't obviously took time. There's a lot of background development, background culture change with regards to establishing this ecosystem. We started with a platform we called Big Bang, for example, which was to have innovative ideas developed internally within the bank. Then we took this one step further, Kashfet, which was to have internal entrepreneurs. So our own staff would not just come up with ideas, but also pursue them to make sure that they become products of their own. That is how, for a couple of our products like Simosis or Alneo and Nakit Basit came up with. Then we started participating with fintechs, and we also established Al Baraka Garage, which was an accelerator for startups, especially in the fintech area. And then we established the second and third versions of Kashfet and Big Bang. It is in 2018 that we thought about white label financial services provision in Europe. This is based on a banking as a service model, whereby we don't invest in any infrastructure, whether this be physical branches or staff or IT technology. We are establishing a third party is providing us these services, and we build our own brand on top of that, and reach our customers through our brand name Insha. And since then, we continuously developed new products and new business models, like Alneo, like I said, which is a POS terminal alternative, totally digital, and our API banking, open banking platform is one of the best. It's also in Gartner's reports. Nakit Basit is just recently going live, which is allowing for the cash registers in supermarkets to act like our ATMs. People will be able to deposit their money, withdraw money, pay their utility bills through not just ATMs, but also a large network of cash registers available in petrol stations, in supermarkets, and as such. Just recently, this year, during the pandemic, we established Insha Ventures, which would take all these business lines under its umbrella. And the idea was to develop these through a venture capital mentality. And also, obviously, we don't just want these products to be Al Baraka products or business lines, but rather the products of the whole banking system so that other banks, other financial institutions can also use these products So they could also, if they wanted, have partnerships in these ventures that we have. So all of these are now open for everyone to participate in, not just in Turkey, but internationally also. Our approach to fintechs and technology has always been through an entrepreneurship and mentality, not just as banking products, so that is the main reason why we have established a venture capital company and transferred all these products under Insha Ventures. And our business model is to have disruptive technologies, especially in the financial sector, and bring them together with end users through the participation and the joint venture of other interested investors. So the idea is not just developing technology for the utilization of the bank, but for the whole sector. And the market is open not just in the national scope, so it's not limited to the boundaries of Turkey, but our venture in Europe, it is open to international customer segments and also open to international investments. We develop the ventures internally, but the idea to have the venture capital is to be able to establish the brand name, grow the business, also have exit strategies. We don't want to totally exit, but we would obviously like partners and investors in these ventures to make them be adopted by a larger public and larger segment of the financial services industry. We are also investing in future technologies, in fintechs that we see a future in, and we are also trying to lead by innovation, by new ideas, and our organizational structure in Insha Venture is to always seek out new innovations whereby we can provide easy financial services to a larger population group. And although we are currently in Germany and Turkey, we already have started with regards to partnership programs in USA and Canada. We're also talking with a group in South America and China, and we also hope to expand ourselves with our partnerships, of course, and investors from Southeast Asia. The idea behind our venture and fintech world is to, first of all, build your own or partner with fintechs. We don't necessarily have to build everything our own. We can buy products and services, and we can also invest in these fintechs, acquire them, or partner with them. And we don't want innovation of any kind. Obviously, there are so many categories of innovation, but we are focusing on those that are effective with regards to their final effect. These are radical, disruptive innovations and technologies that we are trying to invest in. And obviously, there is always a trial and error period in such technologies. But when you have a financial institution behind these technologies, adoption period and the marketing period becomes significantly shorter for fintechs and our own enterprises to take off. That is why, and it's easier to find a niche market to grow in and become a mainstream in the future. That is why we're looking at radical innovations innovations of gradual kind, new business model innovations, transformative innovations, rather than just operations optimization, organizational, marketing innovations, and things like that. Uh, Currently, our fintechs we have fintechs in many areas, including digital banking, payment systems, open banking, and RegTech, whereby we have an online boarding and know your customer and AML services fully digital. Uh, which we have adopted already in Insha, and we're bringing into Turkey, along with the changes in the regulations, especially after the pandemic area. Let me now give you more details about the Insha product itself. Insha was established in Germany. What we saw as a problem was there's a huge number of immigrants in Europe, from Turkey, from Middle East, from North Africa, and these have over years accumulated a good enough wealth. They're businessmen, they're students, and they are in need of financial services. But the banking system, the financial services in Europe, doesn't always provide them with satisfactory solutions, especially with regards to Islamic banking. As you know, there's a lot of fees and commissions in Europe with regards to banking services. Banking services is especially rigid, and the language spoken is the local language, obviously, whereby most of our immigrants would like to communicate in their own mother languages. That is why we have tried to adopt several different languages, especially geared towards addressing the needs of the immigrant population in Europe. We see a total market of 370 million and people. Around 185 million of this is within the range of banking customer range between 15 and 54. We have around 20 million immigrants in Europe, and just about 8 million of that is all Turkish. So Turkish population in Europe was a good starting point for us, especially because of their needs to transfer money to Turkey, to have banking services in their own language, and because the name Al Baraka was already established and known because of their relatives in Turkey. That is why we started working, addressing to the Turkish population. But obviously, we're now expanding into the rest of Europe to cover all the immigrant population in the very near future. That is why we have established a digital-only banking. As you know, banking in Europe is very expensive. It's a very expensive setup due to licensing, due to the regulatory environment. But establishing it as a totally new business model on top of an already established banking solutions provider, we were able to take off in a very short time with minimal expenditures and with minimal infrastructure development, and without the need to hire staff or even offices. We only have a very small office in Berlin, and through there and through our offices in Istanbul, we can actually manage the growth of Insha in Europe. We don't have any. We wanted our solution to be as clear as possible to our customers. We don't have any hidden interests or hidden fees. Have one of the lowest possible costs with regards to providing financial services. The services are very fast. They address to the primary needs of the immigrant population there, and we guarantee that their savings will be used in the manner that respects human values and that are also Sharia compliant. We also want to address them in their native mother language, regardless of their origin. and that is why we have started as multilingual, and we're going to increase the number of languages that we address. Our banking solution, financial services solution, is totally digital through a mobile app. The onboarding, customer onboarding, and know your customer is totally done through your mobile phone. It allows you to connect with if you want to open accounts in Turkey, you can easily do that. You can transfer your savings, transfer money to your loved ones home in Turkey. You will be getting a MasterCard debit card where you can which you can use all over Europe in ATMs. You can put money on your account from anywhere, and you can use the debit cards for any expenditures that you might have around the world. It is compliant to European regulations. It is part of the deposit guarantee system. It is currently trilingual, but we are increasing the number of languages, including to include French and Arabic also in the near future. There is a very good high data security established behind the scenes, but it seems and it's very easy for our customers to use. We also have a competitive advantage because this market has not been addressed in Europe, and like I said, there's a huge population out there that is already enterprising business. They have their own businesses, and they do require financial services, especially with regards to their connections in their home countries. And although we started in Germany, we're growing into the rest of Europe in starting this year, and especially in 2021. Provide a free checking account with a MasterCard. You can send money to anywhere in Europe free of any charge by a SEPA order or by email. You can also make money remittances currently between Germany and Turkey, but that will be extended to other countries also at one of the lowest costs in Europe. Then we also have provided several facilities like InSave, which allows you to save for certain to buy certain things in the future. These kind of facilities allow the customers to have a goal in regards to their savings. Our card is accepted. It's a MasterCard. It's accepted all around the world. And we also have provided facilities with regards to Insha. As you know, the Muslim population, due to the zakah and other donations, would like to make donations in their home countries sometimes or other places, and we provide services to make those donations very easy through our app. We also provide reports to the customers with regards to what kind of expenditures they made, the kind of payments they made, so that they can keep track of their budget. We have provided, we are now introducing saving accounts through Mudaraba accounts, especially in Turkey, so they can open accounts whereby they will be receiving better returns than they would in Europe. And these are Sharia compliance accounts. We have also established an inbox where it is a marketplace for all fintech products, so that customer could use also other products through our app. Onboarding is, like I said, fully digital. You can be a customer in a very short time. We support currently 3 languages, but the number of languages is going to increase in a very short time. And you can add money to your account using ATMs or banking accounts from any place in Europe. Our expansion plan is, although we are currently in Germany, by the end of this year, we will be expanding in French-speaking countries and Austria. Then after 2020, we will inshallah be expanding in other European countries where there's a large population, where there are large populations of immigrants. And our growth trajectory is very ambitious. As you know, these fintechs start up slowly, but after a threshold, they grow very fast. And especially after establishing ourselves in the rest of the European countries, we think the growth trajectory will be more than conservative going forwards. We expect 1 million users in a very short period of time, around 2.5 billion euros of transactions as volume. We will in 7 countries, and we expect around 47 million euros of revenues in a very short time. And our valuation, we have recently acquired a small investor as a partner, and the valuation and the valuation going forward is going to be very, very attractive. In a very short time, we expect to reach a 1 billion euro valuation with regards to our Insha digital financial services platform. With that, I thank you for allowing me this time space to introduce and market at least our Insha product. As I said, we are welcome with regards to talks with regards to any investment that you would seek, or partnerships as to addressing and tapping the Arab and Muslim population in Europe. Thank you very much.